Deep beneath the surface, where the light barely reaches, two cave diving stories await. One diver finds themselves trapped in an endless underwater maze with no clear way out. The other, a rescue mission that takes a terrifying turn when something unexpected lurks in the shadows. What happened down there? Let's uncover the mystery together. Murray Anderson, a seasoned diver, learned about Radium Springs Cave from a fellow caver. The cave's mysterious, unexplored passages instantly grabbed Murray's attention. Stories circulated about an unmapped section past a large cavern said to house the world's most breathtaking underground beauty. The catch? No one had ever reached this point. The cave's extreme dangers and obstacles had stopped even the most skilled divers from going further. Murray felt a strong urge to explore this unknown part of the cave. The dive demanded precise navigation and strict breath control, especially through a narrow tunnel at the cave's lake bottom. Divers had to remove their tanks and squeeze through, making this the most confined and perilous part of the journey. Getting stuck here meant no way out. But success promised a sight few, if any, had ever witnessed: the fabled beautiful cavern. By his late 20s, Murray Anderson had gathered extensive diving experience. As a former U.S. Navy SEAL, he had logged over 200 hours underwater. When not on Navy duty, he explored underwater caves across Georgia. His passion for underwater exploration shone through, and Radium Springs became his next must-dive location. As he learned more about the cave's risks and challenges, his excitement only grew. He eagerly prepared for the dive, despite it being one of his most dangerous attempts yet. Radium Springs sits in southwest Georgia, roughly 12 miles east of Albany. Originally called Blue Springs, it got its new name in 1925 after radium was found in its crystal clear water. People once thought radium could cure ailments like arthritis and asthma. We now know that prolonged exposure to radium causes severe health issues and can even lead to death. Due to its extreme hazards, Radium Springs Cave is now off-limits to the public. However, a few expert divers still explore it occasionally for scientific research. Cave diving poses far greater risks than open water diving. Besides equipment failure and nitrogen narcosis, cave divers face the dangers of getting trapped in tight spaces or lost in complex tunnels. Problems in cave diving can quickly spiral out of control, turning minor issues into life-threatening situations within moments. Even the most experienced divers can panic and make fatal choices in these conditions. Murray had set his sights on Radium Springs. His friend, Donald Garu, shared his excitement for this adventure. By mid-1955, both had become skilled cave divers. They had tackled tough dives before and knew the risks of cave diving well. But for them, danger added to the thrill. They loved pushing their limits and exploring unseen places. On a summer Friday in 1955, Murray and Donald arrived at Radium Springs, ready for their long-awaited dive. They planned to dive deep into the cave and map unexplored areas. To cover more ground, they decided to split up inside the cave, despite the added risk. This meant they couldn't help each other if trouble struck, but they felt the chance to explore more outweighed the danger. Their diving gear wasn't ideal. Back then, good commercial diving equipment was hard to find. Many divers, including Murray and Donald, had to make do with parts from old gear and hardware store items. Their homemade equipment weighed more and took up more space than modern gear. Despite these drawbacks, they pressed on with their plan. By noon, they were set to dive. They waded into the cool blue waters, put their regulators in their mouths, and went under. They swam down to the cave entrance, a hidden 3-foot-wide opening at the spring's bottom. They made a risky choice not to tie a safety line at the entrance. A safety line would have guided them out in an emergency, especially if visibility dropped suddenly. But they skipped this crucial step and moved forward. As they entered the cave, their homemade flashlights lit up the dark waters. They moved carefully to avoid stirring up sediment from the cave floor. This mattered because disturbed sediment could cloud the water, making it impossible to see. They swam slowly and cautiously, trying to keep the water clear as long as possible. The cave's narrow passages and twisting tunnels challenged their navigation skills. They relied on their memory and instincts to guide them deeper into the unknown. The further they went, the more their excitement grew. They saw rock formations that had likely never been seen by human eyes before. As they explored, the cave seemed to come alive around them. The beam of their flashlights revealed stunning stalactites and stalagmites, formed over thousands of years. The water's clarity allowed them to see far ahead, but they knew that this could change in an instant if they disturbed the delicate balance of the cave environment. Their hearts raced with a mix of excitement and caution. Every turn brought new wonders and potential dangers. They communicated through hand signals, their movements slow and deliberate. The weight of the water above them, the limited air supply, and the knowledge that help was far away added to the intensity of their experience. The darkness engulfed them as they swam deeper. Natural light faded, leaving Murray and Donald in pitch-black silence. After half an hour, Donald felt uneasy. He signaled Murray, wanting to turn back. Something felt off, and his gut said pressing on was too risky. Murray wasn't ready to leave. He'd just started exploring and craved more. Despite Donald's urging, Murray pushed forward. They'd agreed splitting up was part of the plan. After a few gestures, Donald left Murray behind, swimming back to the entrance. He didn't know this was the last time he'd see his friend alive. Alone, Murray swam deeper, unknowingly sealing his fate. In his excitement, he stirred up sediment. Clear water turned murky. His flashlight couldn't pierce the clouded water. Visibility dropped to zero. Murray found himself disoriented, unable to find the main passage. Fear gripped Murray as he felt the walls, desperately seeking the exit. His breathing quickened, burning through oxygen fast. Time was running out. On shore, Donald worried. An hour had passed since they split. Murray should have surfaced by now. He waited anxiously as minutes ticked by. Donald faced a tough choice: go back for Murray or call for help. Exhausted and low on air, Donald chose to alert authorities instead of risking his life. He also contacted 2 club divers for help. By the time help arrived, darkness had fallen, making rescue even harder. Despite their efforts, divers couldn't find Murray that night. The next morning, Navy divers started a thorough search. They found Murray's lifeless body floating near where he and Donald had parted. The cause was clear. He'd run out of oxygen and likely panicked in his final moments. In the aftermath, Donald struggled with guilt and grief. He replayed their last moments together, wondering if he could have done more. The decision to leave Murray haunted him, though he knew staying might have cost both their lives. Radium Springs gained a reputation as a treacherous dive site. Some avoided it out of respect for Murray, while others were drawn to its dangerous allure. The cave's beauty remained, but now it held a somber secret, a reminder of the thin line between adventure and disaster. Years passed, but Murray's memory lived on in the diving community. His passion for exploration and tragic end inspired safer diving practices. The dark waters of Radium Springs continued to hold their mysteries, forever changed by the diver who ventured too far. In 2014, Ed Sorenson, one of the world's top cave rescue divers, faced his toughest year yet. Ed dives into pitch-black, water-filled caves where you can't see a thing. The water gets so murky that divers can't even spot their own hands. Ed's job? To save divers who get lost or stuck. These situations can spark panic, putting both the trapped diver and Ed at risk. When Ed finds these divers, he knows time is short. He moves carefully, each action planned. Despite the extreme danger, Ed pushes aside thoughts of what could go wrong. His mind stays locked on one goal: saving lives. Cave divers often say, "There's nothing in a cave worth dying for." Sadly, many divers ignore this advice, sometimes with fatal results. Places like Twin Caves in Florida draw divers from all over with their beauty. But many don't grasp the hidden dangers lurking below. The clear water and stunning rock formations can trick divers into feeling safe. Yet, beneath this beauty lies a tricky maze of tight spots and silty floors. One wrong move can turn the water into a blinding mess of mud. Ed Sorenson wasn't always a skilled cave diver. He started out in Portland, Oregon, working in construction. But a Florida vacation changed everything. He fell for the underwater caves, sold his business, moved to the Panhandle, and became a cave diving teacher. Soon, Ed saw the need for cave rescuers in the area. He stepped up, joining the International Underwater Cave Rescue and Recovery Team. His training taught him that while cave rescues don't happen often, they're usually life or death when they do. One of Ed's scariest rescues happened in August 2012. A diver named Raymond, with his daughter Alexandra and son, decided to explore twin caves. Raymond knew open water diving well, but cave diving brings its own challenges. Open water divers use a flutter kick to move, which in caves stirs up silt, making the water cloudy. Raymond and his family, though good divers, lacked proper cave diving training. That day, they made several mistakes that put their lives at serious risk. The family plunged into Twin Caves' clear waters, excited to explore its famed beauty. They followed the gold line, thinking it would keep them safe. Alexandra led the way, marveling at the underwater wonders. But her kicks stirred up silt from the cave floor, slowly dimming her view. Suddenly, Alexandra found herself in total darkness. Fear gripped her as she lost sight of her father and brother. Her panicked breathing and frantic movements only made things worse. The silt cloud thickened, leaving her completely lost. She couldn't see a thing, and every direction seemed the same. It was a diver's worst fear come true. Meanwhile, another group of divers, led by a woman named Andrea, had been exiting the cave when they noticed the massive silt cloud. They had seen Alexandra and her family entering the cave earlier, and now feared the worst. Andrea and her group knew that they had to get out quickly before they became trapped in the blackout. By some miracle, they made it out safely, but Alexandra, her father, and her brother were still inside, lost in the darkness. Raymond, separated from his children, searched desperately for them. By chance, he found Alexandra and signaled that they needed to leave immediately. The problem? They didn't know which way led out. In their desperation, they started swimming, feeling along the cave walls. The darkness was so thick they couldn't see each other, and the silt made it impossible to know if they were heading the right way. At one point, Raymond briefly let go of Alexandra to fix his gear. When he reached back for her, she had vanished. Overwhelming panic set in. He kept moving along the cave wall, hoping she'd gone the same way. But when he finally surfaced outside the cave, Alexandra wasn't with him. Back at the entrance, Andrea and her group were just coming out of the cave. They saw Raymond's son, who had also managed to escape, but he was in shock, unsure of what had happened to his father and sister. The group quickly realized that Alexandra was still trapped inside, and they knew there wasn't much time left before she would run out of air. While talking, they suddenly noticed Raymond swimming over to them, a look of urgency on his face. He asked, "Has anyone seen Alexandra?" The group looked at him, puzzled, and replied, "No, we thought she was with you." In that moment, fear washed over Raymond. The realization hit him hard. Alexandra was still trapped inside the cave, lost in the blackout. The clear, inviting waters hid dangers that the family, despite their diving experience, weren't prepared for. Their lack of proper cave diving training led to critical mistakes. The stirred-up silt, the loss of visibility, and the separation of family members created a perfect storm of danger. The rescue efforts that followed would test the skills and courage of even the most experienced cave divers, like Ed Sorenson. The family's ordeal serves as a stark reminder of the risks lurking in underwater caves and the importance of proper training and equipment for such challenging environments. Alexandra remained trapped in the cave with her air running out fast. Ed Sorenson stepped in at this crucial moment. He was teaching diving nearby when he got the emergency call. He grabbed his gear and rushed to the site. The silt-covered pond made it hard to find the cave entrance. Ed dove into the murky water and entered the cave. He couldn't see anything and had to feel his way around. After what seemed like forever, he touched Alexandra's leg. He found her in a small air pocket, scared but alive. Alexandra had lucked out. Some air pockets in twin caves have breathable air, while others contain deadly carbon monoxide. She'd found a safe one. Ed had to calm her down quickly and promised to get her out. The journey back would be tough. Guiding a scared diver out of a cave is much riskier than recovering a body. Ed knew Alexandra's panic could endanger them both underwater. As they started to leave, Alexandra got tangled in Ed's dive reel. She started to panic, but Ed calmed her down, cut her free, and kept swimming. Using his cave knowledge and gut feeling, Ed managed to navigate the blind swim out. They finally surfaced, with Alexandra safe and Ed having pulled off an incredible rescue. Ed often says cave diving rescues rely more on instinct and experience than anything else. His quick thinking and years of experience saved a life that day. Alexandra's rescue highlights the extreme dangers of cave diving. It shows that no matter how beautiful a cave looks, the risks are real. Only those with proper training and gear should attempt such dangerous dives. Ed's heroic actions that day saved Alexandra from a terrifying situation. His calm under pressure and deep understanding of cave systems proved crucial. The rescue serves as a powerful reminder of the skills needed for cave diving. The incident at Twin Caves turned a family outing into a nightmare. It shows how quickly things can go wrong underwater, even for experienced divers. The family's lack of proper cave diving training led to critical mistakes. The stirred-up silt, loss of visibility, and separation created a perfect storm of danger.